to get to where you are now, like Reese has his own private gym downstairs about to train in. This freaking podcast studio, 3 cameras, lights, all this staff working for him. His clients are making $1 million revenue, some of them, right? A year. He doesn't even talk about it, right? But you would have made a lot of fuck ups to get there.
Undeniable, unstoppable, straight up on the move. Can't slow down, got too much to prove. Fast lane living, every second counts. Chasing dreams ain't enough, gotta stack large amounts.
All right. Welcome to the pod, boys.
Hello.
Johnny
We're back
Starr,
again.
Mr. Scott Slayman.
We've been here before.
We have.
But not in this new studio setup. It's
I love the
amazing.
setup.
Congrats,
Yeah, it's a little
Reese.
bit different. Thank you.
I'm so proud of you, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I came in the other day. He told me how much he's doing, and he's so low key about it all. And I said to him, "You should start flexing a bit more, bro. I think you should. He's doing so much things."
I've always tried to be. It's just not in my value set to flex my own stuff. I at this point, I think you guys have seen. I've started showing off what other clients do.
Yeah,
and that's more rewarding for me. It feels nice. And
congrats, Kate. I see she's doing mad revenue. So
yeah, I've got a few people doing some really cool shit. So,
and I see you're doing a kind of like a business coaching website, like an educational platform.
Yeah, I'm building out a course. It's been about 9 months so far.
Yeah,
I've been coding out some AI, and it's been really incredible.
I saw that. And I just thought the detail that you put into stuff behind the scenes is absolutely incredible, second to none.
Thank you. Well, we're not here to talk about me. Let's talk about you boys.
We wanted to talk a little bit about you, but yeah,
that's all right. I appreciate it. Do you want to give everyone? We'll start with you, Johnny. A little bit of an intro to who you are, what you do, and I guess
sure. I am a business owner, small business owner. I own an activewear brand called Never Home. You're all wearing it. Thank you, gentlemen. And
very good.
I would say I'm a bodybuilder. Not a huge one, but I train with Scott. He's my coach and pretty much my best mate. And I'm just a person learning about business and trying to grow their business. But my career that supports my lifestyle and the business is a real estate agent. So that's me in a nutshell.
Right, Scott.
Based in Melbourne.
What can I say? I love what I do, and that's helping people achieve their best physiques, and helping them along the journey, not only physically but mentally as well. I want them to enjoy the process. The more people I can help, the better, and it gives me great satisfaction. I used to compete and do all that myself.
Can't tell.
And look, I get so much more satisfaction out of helping other people than I did myself. I was, obviously, with bodybuilding, we deal with self-image issues and all that kind of stuff. And going through some of that with myself, I can relate when clients are dealing with that.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, it's no longer about me. I still train to look good, to feel good, and to be my best at my age. Yeah. But now I can actually help people, I guess not identify so much with their physical bodies, step out of it a little bit and look at the big picture and let me handle getting them there without having to panic and think and be anxious about it all. So I want them to relax and enjoy the process.
Yeah. And you're obviously a business owner in your own right as well. Johnny, the real estate agent. Of course, the phone's going.
Amateur move there, boys. Sorry.
That's all right.
To flight mode.
Obviously a business owner in your own right. And it's that, from at least the conversations we've had, has been a bit of an adjustment for you. Obviously, being someone that only and exclusively wants to help people, shifting to the mindset of business is always a bit of a struggle. Do you find that with yourself, Johnny, like going from a professional environment to like business owner, that you have to wear 2 different hats?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been a business owner for like 11 years now, and then worked in businesses. It's been a while, yeah. But I started in business as a kid. I was 22 when I started, then launched it at 23. So I had no idea back then about business, and the main thing that I've learned over time is just the management of people. That's to be successful in business is people management. Yeah, to be nice but firm.
Yeah. I think this is going to be an interesting conversation, probably one that you both haven't had together, because largely when you guys are on podcasts together, you're talking about fitness, health, and so on, but you're obviously in service-based business and you're in product. there's going to be some very big crossovers into, like, I guess, the product world, into service, and how you manage both of your businesses and what you do. I'd like to kind of kick us off with, Scott, what's something you've learned from Johnny with the way he runs his business? Something that you can change your mindset with, either how you train or how you help people train.
Well, I think,
I didn't actually.
with Johnny, he's out there with his personality and, getting in front of the camera and whatnot. So without Johnny, I wouldn't be where I am. There's no question about it. So I was doing a lot of face-to-face coaching and whatnot over the years. Been doing it for like 30 something years now.
Yeah.
And when Johnny and I got together, he goes, "Man, we got to get you out there."
Yep.
So we started doing these what we called Sunday Night Lives.
Mm-hmm. I remember. Yeah.
And so we would, get on the what was it?
It was Instagram Lives.
Instagram Lives, yes.
On a Sunday,
Yes.
9 p.m. We thought it was a good time. People were home.
See, that's a wild time to do a live, and like most people would think, I'm not working at 9 p.m. Fuck that.
Yeah.
But you guys were getting after it.
We just figured.
But I tell you, the first time I did it, I wanted to cancel. I wanted to say, man, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I was
Trying to
so
crawl up
nervous
into
to
a ball.
do it. I was sweating. I was like, I don't know. I mean, it was the most uncomfortable feeling. But I thought, you know what? If I'm gonna get better, I have to get myself uncomfortable a little bit. So we'd put the questions in, we'd put them out, and then, to answer the questions, we'd post it up. And then all of a sudden, like we would get all these views and people would come up to me in the gym and, "Man, I love what you're doing. Do you, tell me about your coaching. Tell me, and then from that, like I filled up super quickly with the coaching. Like I'm very thankful to Johnny because never once have I even put out there, contact me for coaching or
A call to action,
send me
like
a
a specific
DM or a
thing,
call
yeah.
to action. I've never done a call to action ever, not once. In fact, I had a link tree on my bio, and it would get filled up so quickly that I couldn't keep up with the demand. And then, it was a great problem to have. People were like, how do you get clients? I'm like, I just put my information out there, just answer questions. And, people were impressed with what I had to say, and I'm very thankful for that. And then we went into the studio and started doing some of these podcasts. And I remember the first one I did, you were one of the first ones I did too as well. I remember actually. I came out here with Patrick and you, and I still get a little bit nervous knowing there's a camera on me, but at the same time, what Johnny's taught me is like, just get out there and do it. Like feel the fear and do it anyway. And not only that, but like the way he, when I train alone is very different than when I train with Johnny, because when I train alone, I just, get in there and train or whatever. Johnny's very approachable and he's very nice and enthusiastic. Like when I train with him, people are coming up to me as well and asking me, "Hey Scott, how you doing?" When I'm on my own, people don't necessarily, I don't have that approachable vibe as much as he does. I'm more than happy to have a conversation with somebody, but there's a
lot more gravity around Mr. Johnny stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. And he
I do it on purpose.
He puts himself out there.
Interesting.
I enjoy it.
He enjoys it, and he enjoys making people feel good. So there's been a number of people that have been like, because Johnny comes across very confident and everything like that, and they can mistake that as arrogance. And I know some people have not like that, not like the confidence and the arrogance. But then tell you what, they've met him, and chances are he's made them feel good. He's given them compliments, genuine compliments, and had a great conversation with him, and their perception of him changes completely. All of a sudden, they're a raving fan. They're buying his clothes and this, that, and the other. And he does it out of the genuineness of his heart, not just to sell clothes. It's like, he just loves this. He loves seeing people get better in their life. He's, that's why he, encouraged me to do what I'm doing. He had no ulterior motive. It wasn't like
I did. I wanted you to I wanted you to make money.
No, but I mean, it wasn't selfish.
Oh no, not for me.
He doesn't have an ulterior motive. It wasn't a selfish motive. It was like he genuinely wants the best for other people, and like that's a quality I would say would be what I would take home from Johnny more than anything, and to put that out there. I genuinely want that for people, but for him to encourage me, just put it out there, give the information out, help people. Yeah, and I want to help people, but. If he hadn't put me in front of the camera, nobody would be able to get my help. And now I want to help more people.
Is that something you said that you do that intentionally, like it feels good? You always been that way?
Always been that way though.
Yeah?
Yep.
Like even growing up, you were very much that person that wanted to pump up everyone else?
Yeah, I just think I think it's just my upbringing from my parents.
Yeah.
Just the right thing to do.
Yeah. How has that kind of played out for you in the real estate world and in now running Neverhome? Like I'd assume, correct me if I'm wrong, but your networking capacity is second to none.
I think it's good because it's genuine. Like I don't see someone go, what can I get out of that person? I see, how can I help that person? And I've helped so many people. My cousin's streetwear brand, Southside Streetwear, Southside.
Yep.
But there's so many brands I've started, you wouldn't even know about it. So many people I've helped, but I get a lot of enjoyment out of that. And I don't do it with the intention to get something back, but it always comes back to me.
Of course.
Tenfold. Like it just happens, bro. Like I was just saying to Scott on the way here, Neverhome wouldn't be where it's at because it's getting a lot. I wake up pinching myself of how it's going, right? Like I told you about some stuff happening.
Yeah.
I said, it's because of you, Scott. It's because he got me back into shape and then we started making so much content. I got back into crazy shape and I put myself out there heaps. So I figured with life, you shouldn't be too holding back of information or don't have a negative approach on people that are doing well. You know, I'm driving that Lambo now everywhere. I know it might rub some people the wrong way, but I see people with nice cars. I know what you just bought, that, you know, that really nice expensive thing. Can I say what you bought?
Nah.
Fucking real. Don't say it?
Nah.
So I think it's great. So he showed me this thing he bought, right? And I'm like, that's sick. You know, I put it on, but I was happy for him because I know how hard he works. I see inspiration. Other people get jealous, right? And get envious.
They don't see it possible for themselves.
Yes, that's right.
I think that's where it comes from.
But it is possible.
Yeah.
It is possible if you really chase it. And you have to strategize these things. So I knew Scotty had so much potential. I said him with other clients, I'm like, this guy has so much potential. I would get so much more enjoyment than him probably of him like getting to that next level. Now he's at a really good level, but there's so much more he can do, like implementing your systems or whatever next approach he takes. I get off on that shit, seeing my friends do well or seeing other people do well. I seek inspiration from things and I think, fuck, you know what? Things could be possible. Like dude, the things I've achieved is unbelievable. What I'm doing now, unbelievable. But I kept putting myself out there. I just kept asking and fucking up so many times.
I think that's so important.
Yeah, you got to fail.
To fuck up, like how many times? Like I can imagine we've all fucked up so many times, but without it.
Oh, I'm to get to where you are now. Like Reese has his own private gym downstairs, about to train in. This freaking podcast studio, 3 cameras, lights, all this staff working for him. His clients are making $1 million revenue, some of them, right? A year. He doesn't even talk about it, right? But you would have made a lot of fuck ups to get there.
Mate.
Exactly, right? But you kept persisting. But now Reese is like, what I've learned from my mistakes, like all the drug abuse, all the losers that hang around, like all the things we've learned. The best way to get better is to actually learn from these mistakes. So you actually want to make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Live a perfect life, you're sheltered. You're just going to be not accustomed to what the world is really about.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think just being able to fuck up, I still fuck up all the time, but there are less fuck ups now.
Do you feel like, so I think you would probably relate with this, Scott, because for me, one of the big reasons that I've been quiet, purposely quiet on like how I do things, what I do, is because like, contrary to what most people say, I actually do care what people think. Right. And I care what people think of me and my reputation and my name. It means something to me. It's something you can't buy back.
Oh, 100%. Reputation's everything.
Like, now that you're more in the public eye, do you feel like when those fuck ups happen, you're more scared of what that will do, or?
No, not really, because I'm going to die anyway. I'm going to make mistakes.
That scares the fuck out of me.
No, it doesn't matter,
That
bro.
scares the shit out of me. It's my biggest fear.
Yeah. No, if I died today on the way back, I'd be happy because I lived a great life, got a great legacy to live, and I'd die shredded. Happy. Like I'm not scared to die because I think I'm going to go to heaven anyway. Yeah. But that doesn't scare me. But you can't live life just being scared of what other people think. Fuck that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. See, I do. I've challenged it. Like I've spoken to my psychs, and it's something that I'm slowly getting the hang of. Yeah. But that's why I've always been so baby steps in like pushing my own personal brand, because
I understand.
Just while in that phase of like still trying to solidify
You're already killing it.
Exactly. No, but it's about killing it with other people. Because for me, it's like, sure, my bank account's my bank account. It doesn't matter. When I'm building other people's businesses, like those systems need to be predictable. They need to be right. They need to work, right?
Yeah, I understand.
So,
yeah.
And if people are paying me a large sum of money and then it doesn't work for them, that's my reputation fucked.
Yeah, that's very different for you too. You have to get that perfect.
Yeah.
So I totally understand. I totally understand that. And that's, you're a bit different than me.
Yeah. Did you have that, like, because obviously you just said you struggled a lot to get in front of the camera. Was that purely because like you were just scared of like putting yourself out there, or were you scared of what people would judge you for?
I think subconsciously I was scared of what people would judge me for. I never liked being in front of the camera, even as a kid. I just would hide behind the cameras. Yeah. I just was like, no. And still to this day, I don't like pictures of myself. I don't even watch the podcast that I do. I can't, people
posting ghosts.
Well, people ask me to where do you want to timestamp them to do. I've still got podcasts clips, from ages ago that I haven't given directive of where to timestamp because I don't like watching it.
Yeah.
Really?
I just don't.
Yeah, see, that's one thing I do. I will, every single podcast I release or that I'm a guest on, I'll go back and watch like 2 to 3 times or listen to, because one of the things that I've learned is like, and same with training, like you can't get better unless you know what you're looking at. And, if you're doing an RDL, if you're doing a squat, a deadlift, like if you watch that footage and you've got that game footage to show my hips do A, B, and C when I do X, Y, Z, I can see it, I can visualize. When I watch back on podcasts that I've been on or that I do, I learn all the things that I feel like my filler words. Okay. I always used to say right. I'd always position as a question, like, right? Everything would be right or yeah. Everything was a question. My tonality would always tip up at the end of every statement. And it wasn't until I watched and started to go, I hate listening to myself. How the fuck do other people listen to this?
Yeah.
Then you get better.
Oh, can I touch on that?
Yeah.
So what he said, I agree with, because I'm an auctioneer, call auctions every weekend. And I'm probably one of the best in my group, if not the best. I reckon I'm the best in the group in terms of my street presence at auctions. It's a big call, but I'm very good.
I've seen the videos. You're excellent.
I'm very good, yeah. But you know why I'm so good? Because I fucked up so many times. I called an auction down one time. I just dragged it out, bang, bang, bang. Guys, no late bids will be accepted. Said it 15 times. Going. Sold. Lady rocks up. Want to place a bid. I'm like, oh, fuck, you're kidding me. She bid after. So the client would have got more for the house, right? Oh, like this can never happen again. That fuck up killed me, right? Everyone's like, no, nothing wrong. You got every opportunity. Even the vendors didn't care. Like, no, you gave him every chance. I'll never let that happen again. Another time, I fucked up another auction where I called it on the market. I started the bidding too low and the owners wanted a really high price. We still got there anyway, but I started at such a low because I can pick any position I want to start the bidding at. And the client's like, why'd you start it so low? I'm like, I knew we had bidders, this and that. So I learned from all these mistakes I made and look back at my auctions and see where I stuff up. And that's why I'm so good now, because I made a lot of mistakes.
Game footage, man.
Yeah, so I look back, because they're all live as well, and they're recorded. I'm like, shit. So I got quite good now because I can't do this. Now I got to manage the crowd, because when you call an auction, it's about people management.
Yeah, of course.
5 minutes before the auction, get everyone out the house. Who does it? Auctioneer does it. People don't talk about these things. Get the vendor to come on time, sign off on the authority, make them feel happy, give them a handshake, high fives. Manage everyone's expectations and emotions. This is from doing hundreds of auctions and making a lot of mistakes, bringing the buyers in the wrong rooms, negotiations. Get better and better and better. And then suddenly, okay, I think I've mastered it now.
Yeah.
And it's come reviewing, team meetings on Monday. What could we do better at the auctions? Monday, how did the auction go? Okay, what did we do right? What did we do wrong? Who was looking at which bidders? Who was where? Who's penciling? Do you need a penciler now? Is it a high property price that I'm going to screw the numbers up in my head? Or is it a low property price? Like, it's just easy to track the numbers. So what he said, spot on, review is crucial.
Well, something that like I've only just kind of in the last probably 3-4 months pulled myself out of, but one of my main roles in Lionstone for a very, very long time was just sales review. So we have a sales team. We have some in-house and we have some overseas as well.
Yep.
And I would spend, X amount of hours per week looking over the recorded sales and then giving feedback.
What do you mean? Do you live record a sale?
We have an AI bot in the back end of every sale. The customer doesn't see that it's there.
Yeah.
But we record every call.
Okay.
So It's we used software called Gong for a long time.
Is it talking to a robot, the customer?
No. We're talking to it like, so the customer's talking to a salesperson.
Yep.
But on the back end as like a phantom visitor in that Zoom meeting.
Yes.
There is something else in there watching and recording the entire thing, taking speaker notes. So I get on the back end of it, I get the speaker total as a percentage. So if it was you and Scott speaking, who spoke more? Wow. Right. I also get the positive, negative, and neutral tonality, right? So how much percentage was positive, how much was negative, and we have data to suggest that, you know, when there's like more than 40% negative discussion, we have a increased percentage of sales of like 30%, right? So when you focus on the negatives, the pains, you have a higher conversion, right?
Wow.
We also would have from that notes, we'd have any mentions of competitors, so we'd be able to preload in, you know, all the competitors that we, you know, list as, you know, real points of recognition. We can actually track how often our competitors are mentioned in our sales calls. So,
wow.
And then it will also track if there's, you know, there's other people being mentioned that we are not aware of, so that we can start to do market research on them. But long story short, they would all record and I would do reviews. And only in the last 3-4 months, I've pulled in a GM to take me out of that to now there's a manager that essentially is a sales manager, right? That watches all that stuff, and every single week they're getting feedback on like tonality needs to shift, we need to talk less, we need to ask more questions, etc. And it's even the people that are converting it, you know, north of 80%, they're still getting reviews, because like I run it, if you're in the bottom 10%, you're out.
Wow.
Every quarter.
That's amazing.
Cool.
I'm very
so
inspired
it's like
by
it's
that.
competitive, right? It's like, but if you're not watching the footage, you don't know what you need to improve upon. And this goes for anyone doing sales, whether yourself. You, Scott, I don't like yours is largely not sales because people are just so ready to buy. They're ready to go.
Well, look, ironically, my background, I used to manage gyms for years, large corporate gyms in the U.S. and whatnot. You know, everything Gold's Gym, 24 Hour Fitness, these kind of places. And I was taught all the sales systems. Yeah, like, you know, I knew them, but
that's the thing, man. It's the exact same.
I don't have to use them. You know, and right now it's just more about. You know, all I think about now when I do podcasts and when I talk to people is one thing, and that's just be present. Yeah.
Well, I would challenge that. I would challenge that you don't just need to be present. Your main thing, what you said in the first, your introduction is you want to help more people.
Yeah.
For you to help more people, you need to be able to speak more clear and be more concise and get your point off. So watching your own game footage is necessary. If you want to help more people, you got to do it.
Good learning lesson. That's great. Yeah.
I'll get better.
Yeah. Well, that's the only way you're going to get better, bro, is just run it.
And look, the more you do it, obviously, the better you get.
Yeah, of course. But you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're just doing it and you're just doing repetitions, you could be doing the wrong thing.
You got to unlearn something first.
Correct.
I reckon I put it as this: you have someone that goes to the gym for 5 years, never has a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get someone. I remember I said to Lucas, just go to Scott. Trust me, what you learn from this guy in a year, blow it out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
This guy rocks up to the gym, natural bodybuilder. I saw him at the expo back in Feb. I think I did the expo. He's just a kid that came up to me.
Yeah.
Just looked like nothing, you know. He's at Muscle City wearing my clothes. He looks like an Adonis. 2 months with you coaching, trucks his meals, but he's gone.
He's dedicated.
He's what am I trying to say? He's reviewing what he's doing and putting effort into it, but he's not just showing up.
Yeah.
Because all these other guys are showing up at the gym. They're getting worse or just maintaining, or they're just wasting their time.
Yeah, they could be doing too much.
Lucas has got in with a plan, a strategy. Bro, he looks sick. This kid, he took off his top. I'm like, what is he on?
That's mad.
It's like, I'm natural.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But he's
you get a compound return, right? It's like interest in the bank. When you work with someone that knows what they're doing, you get interest on all the knowledge you already have.
Amazing, yeah. So amazing. So what I think if you look at this, go to these two for coaching.
No, not me. I don't coach anymore.
Go to Scotty for
coaching. Business coaching.
Yeah.
But business coaching too, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's something that like I think that in the business world, even especially service, even product as well, like I'm assuming you spend a lot of your time looking over numbers and understanding data, and like so you have a lot of feelings in business, right? Like, fuck, I don't know what's going right, what's going wrong, but the data never lies, and you got to just let math do math.
Well,
see, I'm bad at that.
You're so right.
People ask me all the time, how many clients do you have? I don't even know.
Yeah. You don't know? Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's not that many that I don't know. It's like, all I know is that right now, all right, how much can I mentally handle, make sure that I can correspond with all my clients, give them 100% service, and feel good about it. Now, there have been times where I feel like if I twiddle my thumbs, I can handle more clients, and then I'll put it out there and bring some more on that might be waiting, or there might be times where, I took on more than
especially around comp season, it'd be
like I'm maxed out, right? So it's more on a feeling for me versus just.
With that being said, that proves my point, right? If you ran the numbers and if you ran your points of efficiency and where you could improve and where you spend your time and all of those things, you could probably work with more people if you manage the numbers only, not feelings.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same with product, right? If you're looking at like your ads or looking at cost of, I was talking about this with clients this morning, like cost of goods inbound, if you can just fit 50 more units in a box, right, and get the same freight price, that's maybe going to be a 2% shift, but that's straight profit.
Yeah, we just changed our whole business model last week because I got a consultant now called Paul Waddy.
Yeah.
And man,
do you want to give us a bit of an insight to that? Are you able to?
Look, I'd rather keep it confidential.
That's fine.
But I'll tell you anyway. I don't give a fuck. So
well, what's the
model? We changed our whole business model. I saw Paul doing great things, and I thought, okay, it costs you $30,000 a year to get this guy consulting. We said to Paul, what does it cost for you to consult for us one-on-one? Because you can't pay me. I'm too busy. But he did a one-on-one call with me on Friday. He went through everything back to front, ripped us apart. Goes,
that's what you need sometimes.
Yeah, and you know what? No, I was so happy because the great thing is, see, these are why these things are good, because sometimes you might, I know people get worried about getting a consultant on or talking because they're so ashamed of what they've done. They know I've got improvement, but you have to look at it as seeing, I'm doing so many things not at maximum capacity right now. And if you're doing okay now, imagine how good you could be doing if you just fix things.
Yeah. You got to remove the ego too.
Just as soon as you drop the ego, read that book, Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. I read that and I thought, fuck, I'll just let everything go and just fix it. Because I know I could make a lot of improvements. And he said to me, like, a few little things because everyone's going to copy. I'm going to keep a few things. I'm paying big money for this, right? But he pretty much said, what you're doing is okay. What you can be doing is this, this, and this.
Yep.
And it's given me a new breed on life since Friday. I had that 1 hour call with Harry and my girlfriend. The three of us had this Zoom call. I left that meeting. I'm like, fuck, this is going to blow up.
Yeah.
With this strategy.
It's excellent.
Whole thing's been changed.
Rather than go through what the new strategy is, why don't we touch on some of the things that you feel like you tried in the past that didn't work as good as you'd hoped?
What have I tried? What hasn't worked? There's certain influencers that are just a waste of time, and there's other ones that are quite good. He doesn't even use the influencer model.
Yeah, I agree.
He reckons it's not for it. I like it, but he reckons there's better ways to do it. It's more about just getting strategic on the ads.
Yeah.
And really getting down on honing in on really good drops.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, our new strategy is really good, specific, limited drops.
Do you think, Scott, like you look at, you've been in the game now 30 years. Was there anything early on? Now, maybe the business world is a different landscape now, but is there anything early on that you tried that you thought was going to be just the answers to you getting financial freedom or buying back some more time, but just didn't go the way you wanted it to?
Good question. Because I feel like everything's been a learning experience. And I'm trying to think of one of those failures or whatnot that didn't.
Is there anything that really stands out from like early days where you're like, fuck, this rocked me?
Gosh, I've done so many
For
different
business?
things.
Yeah. I can give you a couple.
Well, I was importing and distributing sports supplements myself for a while, and that was intense. Metrics, I don't know if you remember that brand.
Yeah,
I think I heard of it. Yeah,
and I think so I was bringing in containers from the U.S., clearing customs, and then distributing them out to the retailers here and all that. And I think with that, I didn't realize how much cash flow I needed.
Yeah.
So, I would pay for product and it would take them 6 weeks to compile an order. And then it was another like 3 months on the water, and by the time it landed and cleared customs and then in the warehouse.
And then I'd assume most of the people that were retailing were paying like a deposit first and not the full price.
No, they wanted to. I was giving them terms.
Yeah.
So they weren't even like, they might have 30-day terms to pay it. Then they wouldn't pay it in 60 to 90 days.
So then your cash flow negative.
And I had to pay up front for more. So I'd pay for product, and I wouldn't get a return on that for 5-6 months sometimes. And then I've got products that had an expiry date on them. I had ready to drinks that had like I think it was like a 12-month expiry or something. So by the time it got to me, sometimes they'd only have a few months left on them.
Yeah, fuck.
So, and like that was, and I just, and people would, everybody wanted one product or another. And so I'd order up big. By the time it got here, they were over it. So that was definitely a learning experience.
Did you solve that?
Did
you figure out how to fix it, or looking back, what would you have done?
What I did was I went to another distributor and I said, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. My cash flow, explained them the situation. They had deeper pockets, and I negotiated a situation where they took over the brand. They had some other reputable brands at the time, and I said, but in turn, I want to work for you and distribute your brands and that brand.
Yep.
And so basically they bought the stock off.
So you took an exit and then got stability as well.
Yes. And awesome. I was like, I felt like I was on a holiday. Like I was like, and because I was doing everything. I was packing the orders myself. I was, going out to the warehouse, packing the orders. I was, doing all the customs clearance, doing all the, I was doing all the invoicing. I had a business partner at the time. He had a young child. So, his commitments were somewhat limited. Yeah. But it was, it was full on. 7 days a week. So when I actually started working for somebody, and I already had my job then changed from basically doing everything to I'll just go out and visit the retailers and show them the whole lines. And I'm like,
yeah. Do you sometimes feel like when
and that's it?
Yeah. Do you have friends that like I have so many friends that like actually a large majority of my friends are what I refer to as just like normals, just like they have a normal 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And they look at the lifestyle I live, and they're sometimes like, how the fuck how can you do this or how can you do that? It's like,
I don't know how you do it.
Like. But more to the point, like I sit there and I go look at, and I go, I would rather the job, the 9 to 5 job, sometimes.
Yeah,
right? Obviously you've never got the same scale, right? But the less stress that someone just has to rock up to do a job.
Yeah, but who the fuck wants to do that?
Sometimes I sit there and I go,
kids about that.
Yeah,
I said, look,
because I know you're right. Yeah, I know. Go on. It's stress free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look at it and I go, I'm envious of that because and I even sometimes man, I look at some of my staff and go, you have a great job. You get paid really good money.
No matter what.
And no matter what. Right?
Super.
Yeah. Like my super's this business. I haven't paid myself super. Yeah. I just like one day I'll sell the company. That's my super. Like
it's a lot to take on, but you're built for this.
Well, not everyone is. It's
certain people have a reason that drives them to do this, and I bet you there's some childhood fucking demons that make you want to be a beast in this and prove yourself and all this stuff.
Yeah, I think for what you did there, Scotty, though, that's a best of both worlds. You've taken an exit, you've got a cash injection, and then you've got the reduced stress, and then the stability. Like,
and you pivoted now
and also online. Here's the big kicker. I lost my sponsorship pretty much for I tried to sponsor myself. Which I thought I could and I couldn't. So I was back on a tourist visa, so I couldn't even pay myself. And then I had to actually go to New Zealand, renew my visa, come back. So I wasn't even able to stay in the country much longer.
Wow.
And I was running out of money completely. So
that's stressful.
But the other thing was this company agreed to sponsor me to stay in the country.
Oh, excellent.
So not only did I get my permanent residency out of them too as well. So that was like, and not only that, I was competing that year.
So just let me so I can kind of reframe that a little bit. Had you not chosen the right time to quote unquote quit, you wouldn't have had your residency.
Right.
Like as in quitting your running the thing. Like it's sometimes like when it comes
somebody to sponsor me, I was in a de facto relationship sponsorship, and my immigration agent at the time told me that I could sponsor myself through my business, but he was not correct in saying that.
Right. So I think that's a very valuable lesson in business. That sometimes you need to know when to throw the towel in to do the next thing. It's not a quit. I'm done. It's it's a road bump. It's a block in the road, little speed bump, and I move on to the next thing. Yeah. But had you not thrown the towel in on that opportunity, you wouldn't.
No,
you wouldn't be where you are.
No, because I was basically only weeks away from having to be deported.
Mm-hmm.
I was completely running out of money. I had product that was expiring that wasn't, that
you couldn't have cash flow.
Bring the cash flow back in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the first person I went to. I actually went to multiple people with propositions.
It's a smart idea. So knowing when to exit, it's a very, coming back to what you said before, Johnny, like throwing out the ego. Sometimes like you want to be the captain that sinks with the ship. It's very, like I've had a business that I exited, like it was an apparel brand, a product. And we took it was close to a 6-figure exit. And that was just because we weren't invested in growing that business anymore, myself and my business partner. And it was just divine intervention that like a buyer came up.
Oh, was it something to do with the partner too? Because having the right partner can make or break a business.
I was very lucky. My partner in that business was my best friend. And I've known him since I was born. So my dad and his dad were best mates at high school, and then our grandparents, my grandpa and his grandpa, was each other's best man.
Third generation.
Yeah, it's wild.
Friendship.
So he came in. I was the creative in that business.
Yes.
So I would do the graphics and I would do the marketing side of stuff. He did all the finance. He was a chartered accountant, so he knew numbers, and he was actually he's the person that taught me numbers in business that has really changed the way I look at business now. But that business as a whole, had we just kept sinking more cash in, and because it was making money but not profitable, right? Yeah. As most apparel brands, it's hard to get profitable.
You see a lot of apparel brands that are not making money.
No, you could.
Most brands are shut down in 6 months.
I've seen a lot of brands, or they are self-funded, so that they could be doing, let's say 30, 40 grand months, but all of that fund is going back to buying more product, paying an agency fee, and then paying marketing, and they never take a wage, right? And it's very hard to build into a position to take a wage in product.
I've never taken a wage for 10
Well, that's
years.
a smart idea because you have another wage. You have stability elsewhere, so you may as well build equity in the business.
That's what I've done, yeah.
But a lot of people, especially these young kids that come in, like, I'm going to start an activewear company. It's their only thing, and yet they still live at home. They don't take any cash from the business, and they reinvest everything. At some point, it runs out.
Yeah.
I think, with what we all do, we are pretty much, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Every waking hour, trying to be somewhat productive.
Yeah.
I've just changed
I actually
that,
have to, pull myself
2
back
weeks ago.
and, be present with my kids, so that I've taken some time to not always be working.
Yeah.
But, I know even when I was working for, doing another company and doing the distribution, I was still 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't stop. My mindset doesn't really allow that to happen.
Likewise.
I don't feel comfortable doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And, even people thought I actually owned I was like, no, it's not my business at the time. I was like, I'm just working. They're like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I acted like.
Yeah, because you cared.
I cared. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But, I guess I do. Sometimes I get a little bit envious of people that do have a job where they clock off.
Mm-hmm.
And they just go, oh yeah, they watch some Netflix, they go out to eat, they do these things. I'm like, but I'll tell you what, I can't do it.
Yeah, you're envious, but
but I couldn't actually do it.
You could do it now though, if you wanted to.
Well, you said there, Johnny, that you've made that change.
Could you feel comfortable
doing
that?
I've been going 3 years now every day, and had a few little holidays, but I actually started to burn out recently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I told you this. I was just, it was actually like, I was kind of just like, fuck, it's too much. Like, so much going on. Work, I got to stay in shape. It's like, fuck, okay, I got to put the brakes on a bit. And so now on Sundays, I don't do any appointments for work. Sometimes I see a client, make some content. Now on Sundays, all I do is, Sunday morning, I'll do some posing with the girlfriend, go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
We just have lunch with the missus and I just clean the house and chill. I might pack a few orders and I just chill because I need to rest.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought even my dad said, Johnny, just rest a bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of rest. Because, some night, I was up at 3 o'clock this morning. My mind's ticking.
I was up at 2.
Yeah. And then
I was here till 2 actually. I went to bed about 2:30.
So I got to stop doing that. So right now, my problem is I have a lack of sleep. Do you ever get like so excited? Do you ever watch this when you got something happening and you're so excited, things are going like I just get excited energy. Like,
yeah.
And I just struggle to sleep.
Yeah.
Bit of trend, obviously, definitely doesn't help with the sleep.
Definitely not.
But I made a conscious step. I got to look after myself. I need to sleep and rest, at least have a rest day on Sunday. So the past 2 Sundays, I had a chill day with the missus. We had our relationships because I'm working so much. I don't even see her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't even see my own girlfriend.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Like, I got to see my missus a bit.
Yeah,
so I thought this is kind of, I got to have a little bit of, I enjoy what I do, but I need to have some time with my
you gotta have respite. You gotta have respite, bro. You gotta have time to just away from the thing.
No holidays this year for me.
Yeah. So I've not had a holiday in, 3-4 years, I think.
I reckon now you should.
I'm going to Fiji with Mrs. at the back end of the year.
If you go to Fiji, my mum's brother's the mayor of a town called Bar.
Okay.
Let me hook up some cool things for you, right?
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, everyone goes to Fiji, let me know.
Yeah, I'm going in December, just after.
I've got a really cool thing to tell you about Fiji too.
Yeah.
Later, okay, yeah.
Excellent. But no, I agree, bro. But I think that to Scott's point, like I'm not comfortable doing nothing. I know it's necessary.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of people coming up in business, whether it be product, even whether it be getting a job, right? The balance is earned. You this whole idea of like work-life balance, you can't build the thing you want while being balanced. That comes later.
It's so true, man. Yeah.
Like you could be balanced now because you've earned the right to.
Yeah.
And you have the stability.
You could chill a bit.
Would you enjoy it? Maybe not. But you at least have the stability to have the option. And that's something I say all the businesses that I work with is business is largely just a landscape of options, right? There's a million things you can do, right? Only very few that there's only few things that you should do though.
Yeah.
Right? There's heaps of can, not so many should.
Yep.
That cross-populated point of like where they both meet is like they're the things we focus on. And like, yeah, you probably should rest. You probably can rest also. So they probably meet in the middle pretty well. It's just hard to stop. I'm the first person to say
so the point person watching this now, when is the point when they know they deserve it? I think you feel it in your gut when you're like, you kind of know.
I look at it, man, a little bit more objective. Like I'm very, especially I'm getting a tattoo next week is like logic prevails where emotion fails. And I think like to go the gut road helps. It's a good place to start. But for me, it's 6 months of cash flow in the bank. When you can cover 6 months of your life, now you've earned some rest.
Oh, that's a very fair call.
Right. Because it's stability, right? So, it's a point of like, if I stopped tomorrow, I could live my exact same lifestyle and have no money come in and have 6 months. Once you have that, you've earned some time.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a good call.
Right. That's for me, right? That's how I look at it when I speak to businesses. Now, I don't work with businesses in their infancy, right? I will only take on a business that's already doing north of 10K months. So like they've already got some sort of, base.
Yep.
So this conversation generally comes pretty quick of like, cool, do you have 6 months of life in the bank? Yes. Cool. So you can probably afford to stop pushing the needle as far as you are.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're in that first 6-figure bracket and your business is only just starting up, the fastest way there is to do more.
Yeah. You got to grind.
Look, I would say, I wish I would have grinded harder when I was younger.
So I'm very glad.
Because there was a number of years where I would go out on the weekends and
oh man, I disagree.
Someone asked me this the other day. I said, "What's the biggest difference? Like, what do you think your biggest contributing factor to your success is?" And I, word for word, said, "I've never had a drop of alcohol, never tried recreational drugs.
Never drank alcohol?
Never.
Really?
Yep. So
good.
As I was growing up,
got some vodka in the car for you.
Never happened.
I didn't know you never drank.
Never drank.
That's so cool.
So that's my leverage, right? Yeah. When I was first starting my business and taking it seriously at 20, 21, 22.
That is amazing.
I wasn't out. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't hungover.
Wow.
So I could do more than what everyone else could.
Okay. And look where you are now. Yeah.
My point.
I'm on the other flip of that. I partied hard. I traveled the world, went to Tomorrowland in my Speedos. I went all around the world in my young, sexy, beautiful years. And I experienced so much. I just figured it out. I would not change a thing.
It's great.
I've gone around the world to so many countries.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun, bro. And I got a lot of culture out of it. Met a lot of people. Met some of my best friends now.
It's funny you say that. Likewise, because I've done 2 Europe trips, right? Both of which one was 12 weeks, one was 10 weeks. Oh, so you've done
some stuff.
Bro. I went to Ultra in Croatia.
Oh, okay, bro. I thought you did nothing.
Saw all the shit, right?
Yeah,
but
so you've done nothing.
Did it all sober though.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah,
so cool. I could wake up, get out my laptop while everyone was fucked.
Good.
And keep doing shit.
Good. I thought you just done nothing your whole life.
No, I'm not that boring.
Oh, thank God.
Not
Jeez.
that boring.
I was going to slap you.
Nah.
Yeah. No,
I've just done it all sober though.
Yeah, it's okay. I only started doing rec drugs till I went to Europe the first time. I never touched a drug in my life. Yeah. Then I fucking went to, where'd I go? Space Ibiza. Someone gave me some ecstasy.
Jesus.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, he would have thrown you.
I was like, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
This is bad. I had the best time.
Do you think?
Don't do drugs.
You said that you wouldn't change it though. That's obviously it's contributed to a lot of who you are and where you.
Man, if you go to my YouTube channel now, go Johnny Star Euro Trip Tomorrowland. Man, I had the time of my life. I vlogged the whole thing.
Yeah,
I had a really good time and experience, and like I stuffed up a lot there too, like just missing flights, like falling asleep at the airport. But I wouldn't change. There's a good stories to tell. So I think it's fun to have it. You got to.
Yeah, look, I agree, but I'm a little bit older, right?
Yeah. But you did a lot of fun in your early years.
I probably too much.
Oh, too much. Yeah, okay,
Probably too much, and that's my point. You know, I don't, you know,
yeah. When you look as good as Scotty
when you're young, but
yeah,
know,
but
I
now
probably had too many years of having too much fun, and now I'm over 50, and
you're putting in more work than most 50-year-olds.
Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, like, I got to think, how many years am I going to be still putting into this? Like, I still want to help people, but am I going to be 60 still, doing like
realistically, and that's a very good point. Like the retire factor in our industry is hard.
If I would have, that's why I say if I would have started earlier, set myself up, maybe with, I don't know what else, but
passive income.
Yeah,
passive income to where I get to the point where I'd still probably do what I do now, regardless,
just slightly
but
less.
scale down and then have a plan for what's going to happen over the next 10, 20 plus years.
Yeah.
To where I say this
pull
so
back.
often. And so that's why I wish I would have done more when I was younger in that aspect.
I say this so often with business owners, especially in fitness.
Yep.
Because the fitness world doesn't really have a retirement plan. Right. And at some point, I will say this, you are the exception to the rule because of how you look and how you train and how dedicated you are to the sport. However, in most cases, people age out and there's,
too many young kids coming in.
The next shiny object comes along.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And if we look at, whether it be, we look at a male-dominated area where someone comes in bigger, leaner, more important, more influential. Right, cool. We go on the opposite end on the female side. Someone comes in smaller, bigger hips, smaller hips. Like, who knows what the next popular thing is going to be, right?
Exactly.
And at some point, you become irrelevant. And unless you've built a brand that you can sell, you have to accept that every bit of money you earn now, there needs to be a percentage of it going away to a retirement fund or a super or something, because at some point, you're going to have to stop.
Well, thank goodness my athletes speak for me.
Yeah.
So it's not, me, my physical self.
Yeah, but you're still relevant. This is the thing.
The athletes that I produce, and I stay relevant with all the information.
You also stay relevant with how you look, bro. Like, if you look at, if there was another, there's not many other people your age in the industry that have been doing it as long as you have.
There's no one who looks like Scotty.
Correct. So if there's someone that, let's say, if I'm looking at two coaches, one looks like a normal 50-year-old and one looks like you. Who am I going for?
Yeah.
Right.
You still live and breathe it. Trey.
Yeah. But at some point,
you do it every day.
It's like, that's going to come down to it as well. Like, where you want to just be a dad, you just hang out with your kids, or you just want to go travel the world with your partner. Like, that shit's going to come.
Like, we were talking about seeing my mom in America.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I just think about that flight and how many check-ins that I have to make up for when I get to the US.
Yeah.
Like, for example, that 24-hour trip, because you lay layovers and that, right? That's 24 hours of when you get landed and you're jet lagged and tired from not sleeping on the plane. You got to open up your laptop and get straight to work and go. Like, there's no time off in this.
Yeah.
People think, online coaching, you can work from anywhere. You can work from the beach. It's that and the other. No, when you take time to travel somewhere,
you lose money. Unless you have staff, unless you have
time.
It's just you.
You lose time. I don't tell my clients, sorry, I'm going on holiday. You can't check it. Because guess what? My clients, when they go on holidays, they're checking in.
Yep.
They're going to buy, they're doing their,
standards.
I don't have a double standard for them.
Read them to me. I think we've got some questions.
A couple questions I'll ask because I think they're pretty relevant for Reese too.
Okay.
Reese is so good with business. This one's Reese. This is for you. So some people put some questions in.
Yeah.
What are the most important lessons you've learned about entrepreneurship from your experience so far?
People over everything.
People over everything.
You need people, right? Like, if you want to go and build something big, you need a team to support you. And it's something like some simple math for everyone at home. People always focus on I want to hit the next bracket, the next six figures, the next whatever it is.
How do you do it? You need people.
Well, the biggest thing I would be calculating is what's it going to cost you to have an assistant, right? Even if it's a virtual assistant. Okay. Generally, it's going to be anywhere from here in Australia. If you go an offshore assistant, maybe $3,000 a month. What does your business need to do? How many clients do you need to service? How many things do you need to sell for you to get an assistant to buy back some of your time so you can focus on more critical things?
Yeah.
Once you have that, you have proof that you can offshoot some of those tasks to someone else. And then it starts to show you that, okay, maybe my business can be more than just me. And if I really want to go somewhere far, I can't do it alone. And I guess a segment of that, once you have people, you also need to understand people, right?
The understanding people thing is crucial.
Yeah. Crash course in it, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You need to understand what people resonate with and what their needs are. So how to make them feel safe, how to make them feel secure, how to make them feel wanted and make them feel self-actualized, like that they have something else to live for. And it's a very, it's an easy concept, but it's easy to learn, but easy to fuck up.
Just bring something up here relative to that.
Because I think and Scott, I know you do it all on your own, but I think every business, especially in service, should move to a place where they can bring in someone to take care of administrative, financial shit that they are like. We didn't get into business to become administrative email people or financial advisors or accountants and bookkeepers, right? But as the business owner, you have to wear every hat, right? But just because you have to wear every hat doesn't mean that you should and that you're good at it. There are other people that you can pay less than you're worth to go do it for you.
100%. It's 100% correct. You know, saying that too, I was getting so overwhelmed with work lately, and Harry's like, you got to do this. Like, bro, I'm just too flat out. He goes, I got an EA. She's your EA now. You use her. Her name's Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Any extra work now, Charlotte does it for me. Email her. She's great. Hey, Charlotte. So it's people. I'm going to touch on that quickly. You know, I work for O'Brien Real Estate. Michelle Stevens is the #1 female real estate agent. I think she's top in Australia too. Yep. She works at my company. And I was lucky. I just look up to her. She's only like early 30s.
Yeah.
So I said to Michelle, how are you doing so well? She goes, I just keep putting people on. Just keep building teams. So a really good agent will sell between 40 and 70 homes a year. That's a lot of homes, right? She sold last 12 months. Guess how many homes she sold?
It's going to be over 100, surely.
238.
Fuck me. So she's exceptional.
She's the best, all right? Michelle Stevens. Look her up. You go Michelle Stevens, look her up on realestate.com. Last 12 months, homes sold 238.
Same.
It's crazy. Puts people on systems. Her husband also works with her too. She's got a team of 6 or 7.
Yep.
Pumps. She's doing
it's over 4 a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how fucking many homes she's selling, bro.
Yeah.
She's a
people
gun.
is everything, bro. Like, I don't say this very, very often, but like Lionstone as a whole, we have over 20 staff. Not like, the staffing in Lionstone is far more than what people would assume, and that's the shit that makes it grow.
Yeah, it's people. You got to build that. You can't just put people on, and you need to have structure. Everyone's got their own role.
Yeah, and be prepared to fuck up with people too.
Oh yeah.
Like I fucked it up. Hiring, I've fucked up some hiring processes. I've fucked up some firing processes. Like
how about getting rid of people? How do you manage that?
Sucks.
That's
one thing I've gotten better at, but I've never gotten comfortable with. I've had to do it now 6 or 7 times. And the biggest lesson, and one of my mentors actually told me this, named Cyrus. He pretty much just said when it comes to an exit conversation, it needs to be a decision, not a discussion. Yeah. So when it's positioned to that person, it's a hey, look, it looks like you're not hitting these KPIs. So therefore, you understand why I can no longer keep you.
Yep.
Rather than talking about, why do you think you're not doing this or blah, blah, blah. Because if you've already ticked all the boxes of like performance, let's say they're a proper employee. Yep. Here in Australia, it's very hard to exit employees without doing your due diligence.
Yes.
So you've done the performance review. You've shown the proof that you've tried to improve these metrics. And then it gets to the point where performance review has failed and they've still not done what they needed to. It needs to be a decision. And as soon as you move into discussion, it gets emotional and it gets really hard.
Yeah, yeah. I've gotten better with that over time. As you age, you get better with it too. Yeah. Anything you've learned with your entrepreneurship with your business, Scotty? Always improving.
Well,
I know the answer. Putting stuff out there more.
Yeah, that and you know, I've talked to Reese a little bit about some scale options.
A lot.
A lot. I asked him a lot, so we're hopefully
just more.
I'm just scared to push the button, I guess.
I'll recall Reese. I feel bad taking up his time.
That's all right.
As another question for you, any new projects or collabs you're excited that you're working on?
My main focus right now is just this course. There's currently 315 units in it.
I think you should work on your personal branding more.
Well,
as well.
that kind of comes hand in hand.
Yep.
So me putting this course together the only thing that's ever going to move it is personal brand.
Yeah.
So that's something that like I've taken an active step towards, dipping the toe, and I'm slowly starting to dive all the way in.
Yeah.
But yeah, main project is the course, and its main objectives to make business simple again for service-based business owners.
Make business simple again for service-based simple business owners. That's your next project.
Yeah.
And I know you would cover literally everything. I don't doubt that.
When I say there's 315 units, so there's 21 specific courses in this thing. So for example, there's a course specifically on branding. There's a course on understanding metrics in business. There's a course on hiring and firing. There's
even a course on hiring and firing. That's pretty cool.
Be like a video?
Yeah.
Lecture?
So there's, I everything that I've created, I've made sure that it has 3 levels of learning. So it has auditory. So there is, you can go listen to it. There is visual. So there is actual videos and also practical things. And then there's also kinesthetic. So they have things to go do.
What's kinesthetic mean?
Feel, touch,
Oh.
right? So it's,
I like it.
For example, if instead of saying like, all right, here's all the boring business math.
Yes. Right.
Here's an actual worksheet. Here's a spreadsheet
Mm-hmm.
and exactly how to apply it into your business and go do these things.
Wow.
So it's not just theory. It's like, here's the thing, go do it.
Yep. Understand.
Right. So everything in all of these courses totals up to, at this point, 315 units, and every single one of them has auditory, visual, and kinesthetic.
So you do a couple of units a day if you wanted to? Because it's going to take a year to do that.
Easily.
Yeah, okay, cool. Sign me up.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
It hopefully, like I haven't officially announced it, but it should be done by, has to be done by November 9th, because I'm hosting an event on November 9th with 100 people in a room.
Well, cool. Well, we're hosting an event on November 5th as well for our opening of our retail store.
Excellent.
Do you come to that?
100%.
And we'll come to your launch thing.
Done.
We'll co-launch it.
Done.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, excellent.
What's
your big projects? Like, obviously, you've got the retail store.
Yeah, so our big project is we're opening up our first retail store.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing is now a lot of people come to my home and they're trying on clothes, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I needed a retail shop. So we're just opening a beautiful 100 square meter store, 10 station walk in Brighton, right next to Brighton Beach train station. Come along. Any of you kids in Melbourne watching this, jump on the train, get to Brighton Beach train station. You jump off there, go under the bridge. You can walk straight into the Never Home shop. You'll meet me or some of our staff. You can try on all our beautiful clothes. By then we should have some new products that are launched too, we're working on as well. And it's an experience store. So come in, try your clothes on, take some photos, make some content, meet the team, and you'll see the best staffing, the best customer service, world class. That's what we're working on now. So we're just organising the point of sale. We're getting the rack sorted too. But
I've seen some of the designs. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, we're really going all in on making it a world class experience store.
Yeah, sick.
And that's just good branding too. So this will be our first retail shop. Once this opens up, we'll open up some more, but it's a beautiful location.
Yep.
The great thing too is in summer, you go to the store, there's a little cafe next door, go get we might have some food there too. Go walk along the beach, get a tan, wear the new clothes and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But that's our and we're doing it super sexy. Harry, myself, Ali, Harkon Projects, putting this store together. So that's our exciting project that we're working on.
Excellent.
So we've cut out all the noise, the branding, the real estate, and just focusing right now on you, on the Heard Our Conversation today, just getting the store looking Mickey Mouse. So
sick.
That's cool. I'm so excited. So
that's awesome.
November 5th, and that's Melbourne Cup long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at, that's about 9 weeks away from now.
Yeah. Scotty, you've got anything in the works?
Well, I've got this online course.
Yes.
That I've been working on, and the big factor there will be the community side of things. So there's a number of videos I've already, uploaded. I think there's 30 something videos.
30 videos, yeah.
And
have you launched it yet?
No, I haven't launched it yet.
How about I put you on the spot? We have a launch link in the description of this. People can go join.
Well, yeah,
it's a good idea, man. Yeah, but we just
man. The thing I can tell you, bro, with business with stuff like this, is you need to have people use the thing. Like I said, I'm building this course.
Yes.
I've already got 30 people in there testing it as I build.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
you could think that you're building the perfect thing.
Yeah.
But once people get in there, there's things that are missing.
Yeah.
So you need people, bro. You need like the MVP, minimal viable product, and launch before you're ready.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll put something in the description below. We'll see if we can get something ready for you.
Yeah. There's a bit more work you need to do. We're talking about it on the way. But we're working on that.
Because
Maybe
I'm
we'll
not-
put a
I'm
wait
not-
list. We'll put
I'm
a wait
not
list
real-
below.
I'm not real tech savvy.
Yeah, we'll put a wait list below.
So
I'll set one up for you.
You know, it's
The
looking
wait
at,
list is a good idea.
Yeah, we'll put a wait list below. I'll set one up for you.
Yeah,
Alright,
because I'm not tech savvy like you tech savvy.
Yeah, I've got a CTO. I've got a chief tech officer. I don't do shit.
Okay.
So when I say I'll set one up for you, I'll get my tech guy to set one up for you.
Yeah, that's what it's about. There's other people that help you with these things.
Yeah.
That's what the experts are for. You stick to what you're good at.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to ask this as a bit of a fun one. I think, so what's your favorite thing to do outside of all this? Is this something you do?
Yeah, I play guitar. There's one sitting right behind
Me too.
Scotty. There's one sitting right behind Scotty.
Is
and
it
it's,
acoustic?
No, it's electric.
Oh, okay. It's a Les Paul as well.
Yeah.
It's a nice guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, I play guitar.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Or I hang out with my dog.
Oh, you got a dog?
Yeah.
Top
Moose.
dog.
He's a border collie. Best thing ever.
They're smart dogs.
Yeah, super smart, super cute. Yeah. What about you? What's your thing?
Oh man, I got a fish tank. I like fish.
Yeah?
So yeah.
That I did not expect.
No, I really like fish. I like animals.
Yeah.
I'm an animal person and I always had dogs. But since my last dog died, I was thinking about getting another dog, but this is going to sound bad. Well, it's smart. That dog took up so much of my time. I loved him to death, Pumba and all the other dogs that I looked after. But I thought now I just won't get a dog because it's just a little bit time consuming walking him and stuff.
Mm.
So I'll get a dog when I have kids in the future. I want to get another Rottweiler.
Yep.
But now my fish are low maintenance and I just sit there, pack orders, just watch my little fish float around.
That's sick.
So the next thing I want to do is when I move into my next place, I'm going to build a nice fish tank. One of my friends sells really nice imported fish.
Yeah, mad.
And I'll just work on that because that's my little thing
That's
I like.
your passion project.
I just like fish. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get a
that's
few
sick.
Nemos and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah, people think it's funny, but
That's
I
so
like
cool,
fish. Yeah,
Cool.
I want to
Scotty?
get a little shark eventually.
Well, I've got 2 young boys, 8 and 9, and you know, anytime I can get them outside, off the screens,
Yep.
and you know, riding bikes or going down to the beach and stuff like that, and just chilling with them, that's the best.
Sick.
It's so good. Yeah,
Good, man. Do you have any other questions? Or are we good?
I think that's pretty much it. There was one more. Can I ask you a question, Scotty?
Yeah.
How are we going for timing?
Go
All
for
right.
it, bro.
My pre-workout's starting to kick in,
Yeah,
so it's
sick.
good. What are some characteristics, Scotty? What are some characteristics that are common in people that are successful bodybuilders? Both of you as coaches, common characteristics that are successful. Make them
Well,
successful.
I would say
Genetics?
the number one factor be genetics.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be the best of the best, it's going to be discipline. So if you can combine good genetics and being able to be disciplined, especially when it comes time to, you know, get ready to get on stage, the extremes you need to go to, the suffering you need to endure, it's not easy. You know, it's not easy at all. But there's another characteristic that I've kind of noticed with a lot of pro bodybuilders, because I've been around them for quite a while, is a lot of them are very chill. So their stress levels aren't super high. Like some of them won't be great with commitments to time and being places and so on and so forth, but they kind of don't care.
Roddy
They're
Coleman
really-
looked pretty chill to me. It seemed like a chill guy.
I reckon it's humility.
Yeah.
Humility, because like the people that are really good, they're humble enough to ask for help. They're humble enough to say that like, fuck, I know how to handle my stress. Like, comes down to actually being humble with their
But I mean, I remember like I picked up a lot of bodybuilders with the supplement industry. I'd pick them up at the airport, take them around to do, you know, visits to the stores and whatnot. But I just noticed like, you know, guys like Marcus Rule and
He's cool.
just thinking some of the top bodybuilders, David Henry, and
But
like, a lot of them
you
were-
fit that bill too. You're very relaxed.
my mind isn't.
Yeah, but you are perceived to be. Their mind may not be either.
I
but
think-
you're perceived to be very relaxed.
Yeah, well, I think
It's true.
what I do
I
see
think you're
though
pretty
is the mental aspect being real. There's no anxiety there. I just
What
don't, I
about
see
you?
like just real relaxed.
What are your best clients? You're like, are you coaching in pros at the moment? It's more.
Bro, I don't coach at all in the physique world at all.
Okay, so
I
it's
don't
just
do-
your
I
general
only do-
population.
I don't, bro. I only work with businesses. I
Oh,
don't-
okay. But what
I-
about your business? Okay, sorry.
Okay, so
What about your business
my
as a
coaching
coach?
Team, no, they exclusively work with Gen Pop.
Yeah. So, Patrick coaches
Gen
or
Pop.
Gen Pop.
Yeah.
And the most successful people with him, the characteristics they have, discipline.
I would honestly say with the Gen Pop world, it's probably just grit.
Grit.
Yeah, it's
Explain
not
grit.
like because most Gen Pop aren't disciplined. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like most of them still go out the weekend. They still have this other stuff, but they have grit. They have the capacity to work through it being shit and not getting progress, even when they're being shit fucks and they don't follow their stuff. They have the grit to keep going.
Yes.
Even when they aren't doing everything they should be. I think it's grit.
That's really well said. One more question for both of you. We'll wrap it up. How do you lower cortisol? So cortisol, is that a stress hormone?
Yeah. Stress hormone.
Yeah. So cortisol is a stress hormone.
Well, we
sleep more.
We don't want it low all the time. In fact, you need cortisol. That's what
wakes you up. Yeah.
You get cortisol, you get that norepinephrine release, you get that noradrenaline. Sorry.
Okay, so that's good because I didn't know that. So you actually want cortisol.
Yeah, so cortisol, when it's got a good tie to like your sleep cycle. So it's like cortisol is a good representation of like simple explanation. It's what will govern and regulate your body clock. Right? Like without cortisol, your body doesn't know to wake.
Okay. And what Reese is right in the fact that as the day progresses, you want it to lower and you want it to be the lowest at night.
So you can sleep.
You can sleep. So some ways to offset that would be you can do some breathing exercises, diaphragmatic breathing to help lower cortisol. There's some supplements you can take. You can take things like ashwagandha,
GABA,
vitamin C.
Because I've got an interesting answer to this.
Imidin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with obviously stress as a whole.
Did you say don't start a business?
Yeah, don't start a business. I think when questions like this are asked, we're not talking specifics of like cortisol. Yes, should be high to wake up and stuff. But if someone's sitting there saying like, "Hey, how do I reduce my cortisol?" Yeah. One, it's going to be training volume and intensity. So your sympathetic nervous system needs to be in check. Yep. You need to pay attention to like your total load of an exposure to stimulus in general, and that doesn't necessarily just mean training. Because stress as a whole, cortisol as a whole, is a chemical reaction your body has no recognition of different stresses. For example, you have a fight with your missus, you do a hard run, cortisol. Is that the same
stress?
It's cortisol.
Is it cortisol?
Well, yeah. So if there are other things that will happen.
And a lot of it can be occurring in your mind. So, for example,
so that stress in your mind is the same as body stress. It's it's all cortisol.
It will all impact your total exposure to stress.
Got it. Whole, okay, interesting.
And this is why people are what they call chronically stressed, is because of their minds.
Yeah,
is when they're overthinking, when the anxiety comes in. So learning these mindfulness practices,
this is very important.
Exercises.
Everyone's stressed.
Is gonna bring down. So it's not so much what happens because we all have stresses in business and everything like that. It's how you react to those.
Yeah.
So if you can learn to process the things that happen to you better, that will help lower cortisol.
Wow. Okay. One of my big things, like I just said before, is it's managing stimulus, right? So that could be stimulants in caffeine. That could be total exposure to blue light on the computer. That could be total exposure to people being idiots and annoying the fuck out of you. It's managing your stimulus, right, ratio to just time down away from stimulus. If you can do that, that'll have the biggest compounding effect. But then second to that, as Scott said, is actually what your response to that is. So for example, like a lot of people will say stress is a bad thing, right? But if you can flip the perception of that stress of like, okay, dog chasing me, stress is a good thing. Stress make me run fast, right? Like that's a fucking good outcome. So if you can shift your perception to, I look at this
so chill. That someone's about to murder you, like that's all right. We're going to kick this cunt's ass.
I look at this from a business perspective, right? Yeah. I look at this in a business world of like, stress is probably a good reflection of maybe that there's not enough money in the account. There's not enough lead flow. You're losing clients too quickly. So stress is what you should fucking feel, and it's a good thing in that regard, provided your reaction to it isn't go sit in the corner and cry. It's go work.
Yeah,
so go fix the thing.
I think
totally
a lot
agree.
Times, like, if I look back on, remember we were talking before about, I wish I would have done more earlier.
Yeah,
a lot of the reason of that is because I was too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a lot of situations where life wasn't real hard, and I haven't had that stress to make me get up and go. When those stresses come about, like when I said sold the business, did all that, there was a lot of stress which made me take action. And get the thing done.
For a long time, I was an anxious mess. Like I said to you the other day, like I've been in some very dark, deep holes with my mental state before.
Me too, bro.
And it wasn't until I could understand that the stress response was, instead of me just sitting there getting upset and anxious about it, I had to go fix the fucking thing.
Yeah. So
like, there's a reason I'm stressed.
I love what you're saying now, Reese. I love what you're saying. We'll close it on this because this is cool. I'm going to tell you something. I get stressed now. All right. But what I do is I've learned over the years that, you know, this feeling you get when you get a bit anxious, like, oh God, I've got to do something. Mm-hmm. What I've learned to manage my stress now is I do things.
Mm-hmm. Go do the biggest thing.
No matter how I feel, like what you said before, Reese, take the emotions out of it. I just do it. I just have to do it no matter how I feel. And most of the time, those things that you're stressed about, they're not that hard to do. You just actually got to actually do it. It's a bit uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Like you might have a few things to do in the day. Mm-hmm. Like I know I've got to get this store organized, and Harry's on the phone to me going, Johnny, what's going on? We've got to open the store. This. Cool. Make the call. And trust me, it's not as hard as you think half the time.
When you
we're
really
not in
slow
Syria.
down.
We're not in fucking freaking. We're not
struggling.
We're not struggling. We're not doctors. Got someone on the table. Got to do a fucking heart surgery. Mm-hmm. Not you. Trust me. You think your stress is usually not that bad, but if you take action.
Problem is, bro, is most people when they have anxiety or stress, their response is avoidance. No. Right?
Because it's that sympathetic nervous system. Yeah. Fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
But if you notice this, you get stressed.
Most people will freeze or they'll run away.
But if you ever get stressed and then you do the task,
it's gone.
How good do you feel?
Yeah, it's gone.
Exactly. Once you start ticking those things over, when I get overwhelmed and I'm like, oh my God, I have so much to do. Sometimes I literally freeze and I'm like, can't do this. Mm-hmm. 1 foot in front of the other, Scott. 1 foot in front of the other.
Yeah,
just do something. Yeah. Just start doing it. Once you do the one task, it comes down a little bit. You've got that sense of accomplishment.
I think you've mastered that, Reese.
Yeah. Well, one of my biggest, and I can self-deprecate here and I can own it. One of the biggest things that I had as an issue when I first pushed into the mentoring space was communication, because like I'd have clients messaging me all of their business's problem. That would get overwhelming, right? Yeah. And I would let these messages pile up and I'd get overwhelmed. Like, oh, fuck, I have to reply to these messages. I have to reply. And I wouldn't reply and it would get worse. And it wasn't until, like I had a few people to give the appropriate and correct feedback. Like, hey man, like your communication is slow. They didn't know that I was just because I was sitting there getting anxious about trying to help them. But what I've realized is that you have to just start ticking off the things. So for me, whenever I notice I'm a bit overwhelmed, the first thing I check is my message box. The first thing I check whenever I'm overwhelmed, because subconsciously,
people relate to this.
I know that the subconscious of me, of like, if I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed, there are probably things in that message or in my private channels that need tending to. And so I go there first and I just start replying whenever I'm anxious, which means now my response is anxiety, reply faster, which now means my clients get a better service because I get anxious a lot still. It's not gone and it's not gone. Yeah. I still get anxious. It just happens all the time, but my response is go do the thing.
And we talked about, again, what some of these pro bodybuilders, a trait that I've seen, and I was talking to another friend of mine, a photographer who deals with a lot of pros, is I don't believe they get the anxiety over it.
Mm. Yeah.
I believe they just go,
yeah.
Yeah, and it's just not in their nature, which is kind of cool. But it's also, it's not great for getting
and then just growing.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
Man, we'll close it out. That was excellent.
Thank you so much. Good chat.
Thank you guys for coming, taking the time. And obviously, Never Home Apparel, it is doing amazing things. Congratulations to Johnny.
Oh, thanks. You come to the store opening, 5th of November. I'll announce it. We weren't going to announce it because we've now got to put the pressure on me to do it.
Yep.
You want coaching for business? Go to Reese. All right. I've sent you a couple of clients lately. Did you know?
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
One of my clients.
Yeah. You going to kick back on this or what, Reese?
No,
can we just use your studio then?
Yeah, bro. Of course you can.
He's great. So thanks so much.
Of course you can.
And honestly, I'm going to just say this too. My business is only where it's at because Scotty's been so great. He's such a good coach.
Good friend too.
He's a good friend. He gives a fuck. He gives a fuck. He cares.
That's where the anxiety comes from. I think
paired use is so minimal and you don't have to use a lot of gear. So I really encourage you, if you could take anyone on, I know you got to wait a bit. Maybe you can mention me in the DMs. Say you're a friend of mine, he'll jump the list. But he's really good. If you want to get your physique good, Lucas, incredible results so quickly. Thanks, guys. We're wrapping up. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Grind till you shine, no time to recline. So never stops, clocks ticking on this fine line. Cash streams, they manifest it, they earn it collective. Minds and mentors talk big, but reality gets